All right, and just like that, we are now in early access of the new beehive update inside of Roblox Grow a Garden. So as you can see, there's a new queen bee in the middle of the map with this that shows the swarm event, and bees fly out of their hive and pollinate your plants for a new mutation. And when you do have pollinated plants, you can actually give it to this honey compressor here, and I believe that will let you unlock seed packs and stuff. We had one of the developers actually give us everything to check out in this update, including all of these new exotic flower pack seeds. So there are new roses, there's a new big sunflower here, and tons of stuff. There's also a 1% chance, it looks like, to get any of these in a rainbow variation, which for some reason is a little bit higher of a chance than the sunflower itself. For now, there are bee crates. For now, we'll go ahead and place these down. Okay, these actually look like they're just cosmetic items. So these will give you different cosmetic items from the bee update. We'll see some of the cosmetics that we get in this, but some of them that I already have unlocked here is the actual beehive cosmetic. Little bees, particles swarming around it. Oh, the tornado's here. Touch my carrots. Come on. Come over here. Okay, it's just stuck in this random plot that nobody's in. I assume there's going to be actual like rods and stuff that you can use to attract the tornado to your plot to get everything mutated, but at the moment in the actual gear shop there's nothing like that you can buy. Let's get back to those cosmetics. So yeah, we have this nice beehive here. We have this queen bee statue, which is pretty cute. Look at her real face. It's so cute. And then we also have this nasty looking honeyed up bench. Best part of the cosmetics in this update is the fact that you can actually rotate these things however you want now instead of just one direction. You can rotate the way it faces like you could do already, and then you can also tilt it left and right and make it a little seesaw. All right, so the biggest part of this update, of course, is going to be the seeds and to show off all the exotic seeds and what they're worth inside of that shop seed pack, and then to actually get honey and trade it in. So from what I know, all of these are a part of the exotic seed pack except for these high fruit seeds, and I want to say the nectarine seeds. So let's go ahead though and start growing everything here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put some pink lilies down. Let's go ahead and grow these. These will be again in the exotic seed pack, so we're just gonna throw all these down to grow. All right, so the event is back in the testing place. Now we can actually get some pollinated stuff. So it looks like these little bees in the middle of the map are pollinating my carrots. Okay, it just clicked into nighttime. Hello. I guess this is one of the gravity events, the black hole event. All right, so anyways, this is nice too. So now instead of showing a percentage, it shows an actual countdown of how long it's gonna take to grow these things. All right, so those are our pink lilies. These are our foxgloves. We also have our sunflowers, which these are the big guys, and they take over an hour to grow, but that makes sense because of how gigantic they are. So we're just gonna spam all of these down. You won't really have this many sunflowers in the actual game because these are pretty rare. So here's our nectarines here. We'll just keep them on a section. We have our purple Delilahs, which take about 5 minutes, so not as long as the other ones. And then we have our high fruit seeds, which take about 30 minutes. These, I believe, will be from the actual event in the middle. We'll check that out in just a minute. And it looks like these bees from the middle of the map are pollinating, so that's good to know. We have a bee swarm, higher pollinated fruit chance. We have some rose seeds and lilac. So the roses... Oh, wait, so the hives take about 30 minutes. The roses take about 10. So we'll go ahead and plant these down. And finally, the lilacs take about a minute and a half. So the lilacs are pretty quick to grow. All right, so everything is planted and now growing. These are all the new seeds in the game. And let's go ahead and just place down these master sprinklers and try to get this stuff growing faster. All right, so that should help with getting all of these grown, so then we can actually take a look at all of them when they're fully grown. And to also help out, I'm gonna go ahead and buy as many watering cans as I possibly can at the moment. So let's go ahead and grow one of these high fruits. I'm just gonna spam grow on this. All right, there's our high fruit. These lilacs seem to be done already, so those are good. Let's get one of these nectarines done here. And I guess we'll spam on one of the sunflowers, because these are gonna take forever if I don't. Okay, we have a fully grown sunflower somewhere in there. I probably shouldn't have put them all together like that. I'm gonna go ahead and spawn in all of the new pets we have here. So let's start off with the regular bee. So we got a little guy here. So every 20 minutes just about flies to a nearby fruit and pollinates it. So this is how you can get pollinated fruit while the swarm event is not going on. You just have to have a little bee. We also have the queen bee, All right, so every 20-minute nearby fruit gets magically pollinated, applying pollinated mutation. And every 21 minutes, a random pet will refresh its cooldown. Pretty much just like the regular bee, but it can also cool down the other bees. All right, we have the petal bee, which is this little pink and white bee. And the petal bee, again, pollinates it, but there's a 1.52% chance flower-type fruit stays after harvest. Good luck. Hey, not again. Shut up. We already did all this.
5.
It goes down! It goes down!
Alright, so we also have the golden bee. Pollinates about every 20 minutes as well, but has a 7.36% chance that harvested fruit becomes gold on harvest. And finally, we have the new bear bee, which the bear bee can't actually fly. This dude just walks around. You're not as cool as the other bees because you're not a real bee. I'm sorry, you're not a real bee. You look stupid. You're not a real bee. I'm just kidding. Please don't hate me for hating on the bear. All right, so every 20 minutes goes to nearby fruit and tries to pollinate it, but it's not a bee, so it fails and turns to a honey glazed instead. All right, well, now that this is actually here and we have some pollinated stuff, let's go ahead and grab our pollinated carrots. All right, so I have pollinated stuff here. I'm gonna give you my pollinated carrot. Okay, so we need 10 kilograms worth of pollinated stuff. I don't know if I have enough. All right, let's fill this thing up. Let's make that honey. Give me a little while. Okay, so it takes 10 minutes. This dude is compressing my honey together. All right, well, in the meantime, while that does its thing, I am going to check out some of the values of these new fruits. So let's go ahead and grab a lilac. We'll grab a high fruit. That's good. These are all high fruits. Okay, can I grab a nectarine? Are all these done? It looks like there's shiny in here, but they're not completely ready yet. So, okay, one purple Delilah. That's good. Foxglove. All right, we'll grab a pink lily. We got a foxglove. All right, and then let's grab a rose. And I guess I'll grab a pollinated rose to do some math to see how much the pollination actually gives you. Let's go ahead and test this stuff out here. So the high fruit, let's see how much the high fruit is worth. This thing is worth 110K for just this little guy. He is at 31 kilograms, so good to know. We have a lilac. How much is this worth? 183. So the lilac is more than the high fruit, and this guy's only at 6.8 kilograms. All right, so let's go ahead and compare our rose here. We have a rose and a pollinated rose. So let's see what the rose is by itself. This is 69,000, and then the pollinated variant of it is 262,000. So that is a pretty good mutation there, especially because you can just get bees to pollinate all your stuff, and then stacking that up with like celestial, lightning storms and all that. That's some pretty good mutations you can stack up, especially while AFKing. So we have a foxglove here. I can't remember if I already checked this. The foxglove is worth 230K. That's pretty good. That wasn't even one of the biggest ones I have. We have a purple Delilah. This thing is worth 457K, and that's only under 30 kilograms, so that's pretty good as well. That's some good money. And then we have the pink lily, which is worth 814K for just this pink lily. No mutations on it at all. Okay, so this one is a little bit bigger than it would normally be, it looks like, but how much is just an 8 kilogram pink lily worth? Let's see. 117K. So yeah, that's just because that one's a big one. The big one that we really want to see and see how good it's worth is the sunflower. But in the meantime, let's open up these cosmetic crates and see what else we have. All right, so what else did we get? We got this honey fountain, which I do like fountains. In the actual game, I do have quite a few fountains in my garden. That's nice. We have this barrel of honey. And then the only other new one we got was this giant, like, honey tree. Or is this a lamp? I think that's a lamp because it has, like, that white colored brick right there. But this might be, like, a street light type of thing. All right, let's see what we get. Collect honey. I got 10 honey. Oh, okay, so that just goes into your inventory. And then I believe that will be used for the actual shop. Okay, here's the trade honey. In here, you can get the flower seed pack. You can get the nectarine seed. You can get the high fruit seed. You can get a honey sprinkler. That is cool. There's the bee eggs. There's honeycomb. I think that's another cosmetic with the honey walkway. We can use 10 of these to actually get the seed pack. And I believe that will let you get from the exotic flower seed pack. So let's see. Yep. That's where you actually unlock all of those. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the bee egg is actually how you get the bees for pets in your garden. The crates are just a cosmetic, so if you want to get the other cosmetics, that's what the crates do. And then also, we just got a honey glazed fruit, so I'm going to go ahead and just see how much this honey glazed is worth compared to a regular gold. Okay, so gold lilac is 10 mil, honey glazed gold lilac is 34 mil. So yeah, that's a big increase there, about 3 times the amount. All right, well, I have a couple sunflowers here. So we have a honey glazed one, and we have a honey glazed gold, and then another honey glazed. So let's just go ahead and see, I guess, what this honey glazed one is worth. Okay, so it's only 6.3 million. That is not as much as I was expecting, but that's still pretty good. Let's go ahead and see what the honey glazed gold one is worth. Now, this one is smaller, but let's see what that brings it up to. 67 million. Okay, so the gold really does make a big difference. These will definitely be a challenge to get, but once you get some in your garden and you get them mutated, that should be some pretty good cash every time you go to sell. But yeah, that's pretty much everything in this new Beehive update inside of Roblox Grow a Garden. Let me know what you guys think about this update down in the comments below. Drop a like if this video helped you learn everything about the update, and also subscribe for some more Grow a Garden content coming soon. See you guys in the next one.